Welcome
to Make It Weird.
Make It Weird, the podcast.
Podcast where we're making it weird every Wednesday. Weird Energy Wednesdays. Woo!
Weird Wednesday Energy. So it can be WWE. Yeah, not WEW.
Oh, man.
Woo. We could be woo.
We could be woo.
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 You just walk up to like a Make It Weird fan and just go woo.
Woo.
Woo. That's how you know they're a homie.
I kind of like that. Yeah.
Woo.
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 Let's just keep saying that. So what was it? Wednesday, would you say? Weird
Energy Wednesday.
Yeah. Weird Energy Wednesday. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, we wouldn't get sued for that one probably.
No,
hopefully.
WWE maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think they probably don't give a shit about us doing this, but
They don't know us yet.
They don't know yet.
They don't know me yet. Not until I roll up in the ring.
Yeah, not until we have our first recorded episode from a WWE
live
ring.
from SmackDown. Monday Night Raw.
Imagine we have a podcast and we just fight each other.
We could. We could buy boxing gloves and go out into the yard right now.
Oh my god.
We could go to Dick's Sporting Goods.
The last time we did something like that.
Yeah, I broke your leg.
Yep, you broke my leg.
Maybe your bones should be stronger. Anyway.
We should upload that video at some point. There's not video of me breaking my ankle.
No, but like
there's video beforehand of us in the giant inflatable balls. That was honestly so fun.
It was until it wasn't.
All of a sudden, it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah. Just like this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm burnt out. I want to quit. This is the last episode. This is going to be, I think we need to stop talking about poop. I think we need to ixnay the poop say.
But it's important. You poop almost every day. It's an important part of my life. You know what I mean?
You pooping every day?
Usually, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't relate.
Gotta get that fiber.
Whoo, buddy. I have it. Yeah, so,
how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Who's going first?
I don't mind going first.
Yeah?
Mine's not, like, I don't think it'll take too long to go through.
Okay.
It's one that I mentioned in a previous recording.
Okay.
And you said you hadn't heard of it.
Yay!
Which, I feel like there's no way you haven't heard of this because it's pretty well known, I think. Maybe not.
I mean, I'm pretty well known for being stupid, so.
Same but more.
Potentially. Maybe.
Times two.
I might have, like, you know, sometimes I listen to podcasts, but I don't really listen to the podcast. It's just kind of on.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to have the comforting sound of someone's voice, you know, when you're lonely and you don't have any friends.
Honestly, or like when I'm sewing and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice when you're doing a menial task like that. Like you're kind of just like a puzzle or like the little beadboards or something. Yeah.
I know we got some fans out there painting Warhammer figures. Hello.
I
hope you're enjoying your plastic crack.
How's
It may be cheaper if you upgrade to the real deal, though. Real Warhammer mechanical things. Invest your money to build giant robot suits that we force 12-year-old boys to undergo genetic modification to get into to save humanity. Thank you.
I have no idea about any of the things you just said.
Me either, if I'm being really honest with you.
You definitely knew more than I did.
That is a blanket statement that yes, we can apply to most things. I'm joking. That's mean. So tell me about your industrial accident.
My personal one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it all started when I was 7.
Oh, in the industry at 7.
Yeah. I've had a job since 5.
So you getting your little like fingers in there?
Yeah.
Towel hands in the machinery?
Yeah. You
Waving
know,
the looms?
yeah.
When the corporations take over, when we're back to living in industry towns, where like the corporations own the town.
Yeah.
Who do you want to work for?
Ooh. I don't really like getting my hands dirty. I'm not one of those people. Like, I'll do it if you need me to. But I kind of like jobs where there's a process and you either do it right or wrong. Like, the things fit into the holes, when the day is over, and you do it again the next day.
I think I want to live for whatever country Target ends up making.
Target as a country.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like, I feel like eventually that's how it's going to happen. As like corporations become countries.
I want to work for Lego.
Fuck. God damn it. That's a great answer. Fuck.
I love it when things fit together and you just go right in the perfect.
You got the little instructions.
Yeah.
I have a huge Lego Mechagodzilla figure that's supposed to be like this big.
You haven't built it?
No.
Oh my God,
It's
can
been
we do
years.
that one day? That would be so fun.
Casey also really wants to build it, yeah.
Oh, that would be a blast. I haven't built Legos since I was really little.
My dad got it for me, and it's literally been in a box for like 4 years.
Oh, let's fucking build that shit.
Yeah, it would make him very happy.
You saw the Twilight Lego house, right?
Yes.
The Cullens house. Yeah. Incredible. However, a lot of these corporations that mooch off of Twilight and make a bunch of money, they don't give any of their money to the Quileutes tribe, so something to be aware of.
Donate.
Please donate. If you're in Twilight shitposting, or if you'd like to be, and you're unhinged and you have a disgusting sense of humor, go in there and then you can donate directly from their site.
Yeah. We love the ratties. We love the sewer.
Shout out to the sewer ratties. I'm one of you.
The rat sounds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all we do in the group all day.
Yeah, that's literally it. It's just recordings back and forth.
One of my favorite things to do is like I'll be scrolling through Facebook and I'll see a meme and I'll go, ooh, Harmony's gonna love this one. It's so like the level of knowledge you have to know about this stupid fucking shitposting group to get the joke is insane. And then I'll like go to send it and I realize it says that she's already liked it.
Yep.
I'm like, great, thank you. This is the one place on the internet that you spend more time than I do.
Well, and you got me into it.
Yeah,
it was just so funny.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't be sorry. I love it. It feels like home there, you know? Yeah. All right, so
Kayla.
All hail Queen Kayla.
She won't approve my fucking posts.
I got a couple approved.
Nah,
Mostly because they were stupid as fuck.
I've never
tried.
What's she holding?
What the fuck is she holding? I was so high. So high. Highly recommend getting really high, watching Twilight, and then posting something to shit posting. It'll probably get approved because it'll be stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways. How many times am I going to say anyways and then try to talk about my thing and then we don't talk about it? Let's do a few more. You're ready then. Did you just zip your lips together?
I'm trying to hold it in so hard. Let's get going.
I'm going to talk about
Okay.
The Great Molasses Flood of 1919.
I am so excited.
I cannot believe you haven't heard of this because it is fucking wild. So yeah, a couple episodes ago, I mentioned this very briefly because I thought that's what Haley was going to cover. She said she hadn't heard of it. This story has, this is a poor choice of words, really stuck with me. Ever since I heard it on My Favorite Murder, actually. I'm pretty sure Karen covered it.
Then I probably have heard it.
You might have. Yeah. I think Karen covered it. That's like every now and then she gets away from the murder stuff and just goes into like random industrial accidents and stuff. Yeah.
That's what M stands for in the MFM. It's My Favorite Molasses Accident.
Exactly.
Nothing more, nothing less.
So when you hear, if you haven't heard of this before, when you hear the Great Molasses Flood, it almost sounds comical. The idea of syrup, flowing through somewhere, but
yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. But the actual incident was absolutely disastrous and fatal.
Really?
Yes. Like it's just wild.
I'm excited to hear about it.
There's something really gripping for me of sorry. I'm sorry. That's a poor choice of words.
All right.
There's something really sticky for me.
Something really syrup for me. Syrup these nuts. Sorry.
About stories of people dying in ways that absolutely horrify me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even though it's anxiety-inducing for me, it scares the shit out of me, I'm so intrigued by it. I want to know all the details. People being burned alive or being stuck somewhere. Like, I was listening to one about this guy that got stuck in a wall and they didn't find his body for, 20 years or something.
Yeah.
Like, just, yeah. But, I mean, that's kind of the idea behind this whole podcast. Weird shit like that horrifies you. You feel awful about, that it happened to this person or people, but you gotta know about it.
Yeah, you just can't help but learn about it.
Exactly.
And then share it with people that don't want to know at dinner.
Exactly. And this podcast is for the people that do want to know, not the people at the dinner table who are like, Haley, Harmony, please shut the fuck up. Can you talk about something normal for
Maybe
once in your
should
life?
Play this, though, during dinner.
Oh, that's a good idea. None of us talk and we just listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
That would help a lot with, family arguments.
Somebody starts talking, you go, shut up! Haley's talking right now.
My podcast is on. Shh.
When Casey and I are driving in the car sometimes, and I have a podcast on and he starts talking, that's what I want to do. Not all the time. But there was, a time this morning where I literally was like, my podcast is on. Stop it.
Yeah. You turn it on, you want to listen to it.
I, looked at him and I just pointed at the radio. And then he flinched because he knew that I'd beat him if he talked again.
Smart man. Bobby does that when I'm watching a show or something. So he'll, we have two separate living rooms, which is awesome because we have a finished basement. So he'll come upstairs and, want to talk to me about something. And he'll start talking and I, look at him. And then I just, reach over to the remote, click pause.
Yes!
Yes.
Like, I'm obviously engaged in something. It's one thing if somebody comes up and they're like, can you pause?
Yeah.
And, like, I understand, you know, something exciting happens or you have a good thought, which is rare for me, and you want to share it, like, sure.
Yeah. You get excited.
Join in, please.
Yes.
Not
I'm
during.
watching Bridgerton. It's very important and historically accurate.
Shut up, little Timmy. Mommy's watching her podcasts. That's what I say to Casey whenever he interrupts me.
Little Timmy. What did I call him? I called him like Garbage Man that one time because... Oh, it was when
trash
you were
man.
moving. Yeah, Trash Man, because he kept taking the trash man. I was
Yeah.
like, Trash Man, Trash Man.
My stepdad called him CJ one time.
I remember you said that.
He literally, anytime that Casey orders food now, they'll ask, like, what's your name? He goes, CJ. Like, yeah,
It's pretty good.
it's funny.
Do you know the difference between maple syrup and molasses?
My tummy grumbled. No, I don't.
Your tummy does. It's trying to tell
Apparently
you.
it does. I think molasses comes from asses
Yes.
and syrup comes from pups.
Correct. Yeah,
Great.
puppies make syrup and asses make molasses.
Perfect. Look at that dog over there making syrup. I'm so sorry.
It's just like flowing out of her as we speak. Molasses is a byproduct of sugar processing.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's made using beet or cane sugar, and maple syrup is made purely using maple tree sap. It
Okay.
is straight from the tree.
So it's kind of like butter versus margarine.
Kind of, yeah.
All right,
Yes,
all right, okay.
because so it molasses is a byproduct. So it's made by crushing sugar cane or sugar beets to extract juice, then boiling the juice to form sugar crystals. Molasses is usually a lot thicker than syrup, and it's a little bit less sweet. Now I'm comparing that to maple syrup, not the fake syrup, because there's that too, which is really just like sugar with like maple extract added to it. So molasses was used a lot more widely in the years following World War One, as it was basically like the most common household sweetener, mainly used for baked goods. But it was also used for brewing beer, and it can be fermented to produce ethanol, which can obviously be used to make liquor.
Yeah.
But it's also a necessary component for munitions, so it was really important for the war specifically.
Nice.
Yeah. Molasses makes guns.
Yes. Kicking asses with molasses-based firearms.
That was really good.
Thank you.
That was nice.
Thank you.
So, the source of this flood was a 50-foot tall steel holding tank, like 4 to 5 stories tall. It was located on Commercial Street in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
How many gallons could this thing hold? Do we know?
I will tell you.
Okay.
So it was located on Boston's north end, right near the water's edge, and the facility itself was owned by a company called Purity Distilling Company. Contents of the tank: 2.3 million gallons of molasses.
Wow. Because
Yes.
at work we process water and we deal with like 10, 7, and 3,000 gallon tanks.
Mhm.
So I was kind of like, I was trying to picture it and I was like, all right, yeah, like that's a lot of water.
Yeah.
It's a lot of molasses. Million gallons. I have
2.3
no
million.
comprehension.
No.
Of, like yeah.
So
I can't even
much.
begin to fathom.
So the contents of the tank were property of the United States Industrial Alcohol Company,
Okay.
which shipped molasses from the Caribbean to the U.S. pretty regularly. So the USIA, they own what's in the tank,
Okay.
and then this distilling company owns the tank and like the facility itself.
I can already see the finger pointing beginning.
Exactly.
Great. That's how things should be separated and portioned out, and responsibility should be handed out specifically that way. Yep.
Yeah. Corporations are never at fault. It's people. It's the little people.
They're always fighting for us.
Yes.
Never for profits.
No, definitely not. They don't care about money.
No. Why would
Forget
they?
it, yeah.
Money's nothing. No, that guy, Biggie Smalls, cash rules everything around me. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm glad Biggie's dead.
Oh,
I want to make it so clear.
How dare you?
That's a joke. One time I got really high and it like
I remember you said this.
it clicked that Biggie was dead. By the way, I was like 24. Biggie had been dead for like 24,
long
25
time.
years. Yeah. And I heard her cry, like sobbing, like heaving sobs over
You
Biggie
just
Smalls being
remembered
dead.
that he
Yes.
was dead.
Yeah.
That's how you know you've gotten too high.
Yeah, I ate a lot of inedible.
Good times though. It's pretty funny.
It wasn't good.
Bobby once did some sort of drug and was wearing one of those stupid hats that had mittens on the end, like had like strings and little mittens, and he had his hands in the mittens. And when he took his hands out of the mittens, he started crying because he remembered that he had fingers.
I used to have a couple of hats like that.
Yeah.
Of course I did.
They were like punk. the punk kids always had those. Not
Like
quite goth,
scene
but
kids.
yeah,
It was the scene kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Scene and emo.
Yeah,
Those.
in your little ew woo, ew woo. God fucking hell.
Woo.
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 Welcome to Woo.
Woo. Welcome to Woo.
Woo. This is Woo. Woo.
Woo. Sure. Anyway, get back to the episode, please.
Of the molasses?
The molasses.
The molasses episode.
The flood of the molasses in the Boston sweets, please.
It was widowy so bad.
Widowy so sticky.
You don't even know.
Widowy stickier than my bed sheets. We need to stay on task, dude. I'm gonna fucking lose my mind
We're
today.
off the walls today. All right, so the locals who lived in the area, primarily Irish and Italian immigrants, they noted that the steel tank would often groan and leak molasses into the street.
I don't like a tank groaning.
Exactly. It should not be making them noises.
Or does it just go like, oh.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounded like. You wouldn't believe it.
Ugh.
It became very common for the local families to hear rumbles and metallic creaks coming from the tank.
No.
So it's making noises that a giant tank a tank should be solid. It shouldn't be making fucking like. So apparently at one point, a USIA employee actually warned his bosses at the facility that the tank was structurally unsound.
Good for him.
Well, but of course, little was ever done to address the issues.
Why would they?
Because that would take time, effort, and money.
Absolutely.
The tank was built during World War I at a time when there was increased demand for industrial alcohol, so the tank itself was built very haphazardly, rushed. Good little formula for problems. But so far, personally, I don't have any concerns or notes. Like, I don't see how anything could go wrong here, so.
It's groaning. What the fuck are you talking about? There's so much that can go wrong.
So, on the afternoon of January 15th, 1919, temperatures in Boston had increased in a very short period of time from like below freezing to about 40 degrees. So there was a shift in temperature. There had also been a recent shipment of molasses delivered into the tank, and it had been warmed to make the transfer easier. So we've got some different temperatures going on here.
Yeah, I feel like I know where this is going.
So around 12:40 p.m., there was a massive metallic roaring sound, and the ground began to shake.
Oh my gosh.
And a gigantic steel tank was ripped open, and 2.3 million gallons of molasses were unleashed onto Commercial Street.
I'm imagining it, like I know this isn't how it was, like a tsunami wave. Like
it was. I'm going to get to that.
Oh my gosh.
It was. As the rivets began shooting out of the tank, those nearby heard bangs that sounded like a machine gun. God. A giant wave, somewhere between 15 and 25 feet in height, of dark brown sludgy molasses swept through the street, traveling at 35 miles an hour.
You can't outrun that.
No, you cannot.
Holy shit.
So it literally was like a tsunami wave of molasses.
Man.
It, like, the tank ripped, like, just not even a little bit at a time. It was the entire fucking contents at once.
I want a movie.
Damn, that would be a good movie, actually. Like, sad, but
it'd be like 3 minutes long.
Yeah, there's really. You'd have to tie some other stuff into it.
I don't know. Who's the guy that does the explosions? Get Michael Bay on the phone. Michael Bay, we have an explosion for you.
The density of molasses is about 1.4 metric tons per cubic meter. So that's about 12 pounds per US gallon.
Okay.
40% more dense than water. So, yeah, you can just, all of these things you can imagine how incredibly horrible this was.
Yeah.
So the force of the wave was strong enough to drive steel panels of the burst tank against the girders of an adjacent train station structure and tip a streetcar momentarily off the tracks.
Holy shit.
And, like, I'll show you pictures later, but there are pictures of, like, big chunks of metal from the tank, and I mean, it's just insane.
To show you, like, in relation to humans, like, standing next to it or anything?
There might be some people in the picture.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of pictures. There's tons.
Okay.
People, horses, buildings, electrical poles were all, like, obliterated in its path.
The ponies.
I know. Among those people were 3 young children who had been gathering wood right near the tank. One of them actually did survive.
Oh, okay, that's good.
The one that survived, I don't have it in here, but he basically, like, was swept into, like, the top of the wave and, like, rode the wave. Like,
Syrup Surfer.
Yeah, literally.
The newest, like, mobile phone game coming to a phone near you. It's gonna replace Subway Surfer. You fucking ready, kids? Mid-century Boston. Right here. Surfing the syrup wave.
We're not laughing at this these people dying. Just FYI, we are not. But that's really fucking
You
funny.
could.
Don't!
If you wanted.
Haley.
Well, I'm just saying, like I can't control them. If they want to, they can.
No, I know.
That's
They
fucked
can't. I'm
up.
saying we're not.
You're the only one laughing right now, so.
I'm laughing at your joke.
About the dead people.
Anyways.
Everybody in this story died.
Not everyone, but basically.
Well, it's like 2025, so they're probably all dead.
Oh, yes, they're definitely dead. There's no way anyone is living.
Yeah. Therefore, I'm right.
Martin Clougherty, owner of a local saloon.
You said it wrong. It's Martin Clougherty.
Martin Clougherty. That's not it.
Oh.
That's not it.
It's like that clip of the Vine of the lady who like is trying to recreate a Jamaican accent.
Yes.
I don't even know what she was trying to say.
I forgot about that one. Every time that one resurfaces, I watch it for like 5 minutes.
It's like the face she makes when she does it too. Oh my god.
God, it's so good. Martin Clougherty.
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 Oh, what a good Irish boy you got right there. Oh, Martin Clougherty.
Go away. Owner of a local saloon, having just woken up, watched his home crumble around him before being thrown into the current. Quote, I was in bed on the 3rd floor of my house when I heard a deep rumble, and when I awoke, it was in several feet of molasses. Clougherty nearly drowned in the gooey whirlpool before climbing atop his own bed frame, which he discovered floating nearby. So the barman used this to make a makeshift boat and rescue his sister Teresa, but his mother and younger brother were among those killed in the disaster.
Oh man, I was gonna think about how much fun that would be as a little mini level in Syrup Surfers. And somebody died. I can't make a game out of this.
That just made me think. Okay, this is wild. I forgot that this happened. So when I was searching for information, I just Googled Great Molasses Flood. There is a game studio that named themselves, like, I think it's Molasses Flood or like Great Molasses Flood. After this,
Bring them on.
I sent it to my friend that I work with, and she was like, people died. And you named your game studio after that?
It's a slow flood of games, all right?
So the wave crashed and receded very quickly, but left absolute destruction in its path. It was said, oh, this part's awful. It was said you could see people, horses, or other forms of life struggling beneath the thick molasses attempting to free themselves.
You know what, though? Somebody who was eating pancakes for breakfast had a beautiful breakfast morning. That person had, like, opened up their pantry. They went, God damn it, I'm out of syrup. Ugh. And then as they say that, the wave crashes in their window, but, like, they're on the 2nd floor or the 3rd floor, right? So they get just enough through the window to land on their pancakes and they go, oh my goodness.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. I have that story next. Oh my god, Haley.
You gotta find your laugh somewhere.
No, I know. It's just several blocks were flooded to a depth of 2 to 3 feet. This next part really horrifies me. So while it was a slightly warmer day than usual, like we said, it was about 40 degrees. That's still only 40 degrees.
Yeah.
So the molasses started to harden once it was out of the tank.
Oh no.
And people were literally becoming trapped in the liquid because it was hardening from it being cold.
And it's kind of transparent, so you're just like frozen in space, but you can like see everyone walking around you.
Yeah, maybe. It's pretty thick. Molasses is very thick. Like
I'm imagining like an avalanche, but see-through and brown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Police and firefighters arrived at the scene within minutes, as well as over 100 sailors from the Navy ship USS Nantucket. As you can imagine, it was very difficult for them to wade through this thick and now hardening liquid to not only rescue people, but to try and find them in the first place.
You said 2 to 3 feet. That's up to their knees or their waist, depending on their height.
Thick and difficult to wade through. And there's pictures of like, emergency vehicles and stuff trying to get through. Yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago, up in New Hampshire, we got like 1.5 feet of snow in a day. And I was at work that day. And I had to walk about a mile to and from different locations. And even that, like 1.5 feet of fresh snow was rough.
It's really difficult to walk through.
I can't imagine.
Fucking
literally
molasses.
Like thigh height molasses. Solid, no.
Yeah, this feels like you know how everyone made fun of like Indiana Jones and stuff with like quicksand? They're like,
Yeah.
you know, there's never been any quicksand. Like this is real life quicksand. Like this is the actual thing that happened.
Would you wear shoes?
Seems like that would make it harder.
They would fall off.
Yeah.
They would definitely. Then you like
You need suspenders too.
like waders or what do you
Like
mean?
something to strap your pants to
Oh,
yourself.
if I'm
You know what I
going-
mean?
If I'm a man and I'm going to go save people trapped in
You're
molasses,
just stripping.
I'm not wearing any clothes, I think. I think at that point, yeah. Did they have, you said it's post World War One, so like they might have some waterproofing stuff. Fucking 3M might have already been poisoning the world with
Maybe,
PFAS.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I know they
Seems
have-
like waterproof isn't going to help much with molasses, though.
I know, I'm just thinking about like something like rubbery that you could at least spray off with the hose.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe like a firefighter's uniform or something. So the most dramatic rescue took place at a local fire station where several firefighters were trapped in a molasses-flooded pocket of space on the collapsed first floor.
Oh my gosh.
Workers freed the survivors after several hours of cutting away floorboard and debris, but not before one of the firefighters lost his strength and drowned.
Oh.
The death toll would eventually climb to 21 dead and another 150 injured, but many of the deceased remained missing for several days.
You know what though? 21 dead is better than I was expecting.
Yeah, it was. I think it may not have just been like a super populated area or
Yeah.
something, but very industrial area. But yeah, 150 injured and I think pretty badly injured.
So how many, I'm sorry, really quick, because I'm trying to figure out like how much square foot, if this was like evenly spread along a surface, this would take up. Do you have a thing in there for your story about how wide of a affected area this was?
No, I don't.
Okay. When we get to a stopping point, I'm gonna do some math.
Yeah, take a look at it. Yeah, it is right by the water's edge, and it's like almost like a little.
Oh, so some might have like got into the water instead.
Maybe? I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, let's look at it. People were killed by either drowning, being hit by debris, or being caught up in the initial wave. The remains of one victim, a wagon driver named Cesar Nicolo.
Caesar.
It's Cesare.
Caesar.
That's Cesar.
Caesar.
Caesar is Ceasar.
Cesar.
Are.
Caesar.
But Caesar is spelled Ceasar.
Cesarea.
Is that how you actually say it? Cesare?
Cesarea.
Cesare!
Cesarea.
Cesare Nicolo.
Sorry, I was mixing up the placement of an E and an R.
Oh, I got you.
Because Cesaer is still
Yeah.
Cesar.
Cesar.
Cesarea.
Anyways, this person. They were not fished out of the nearby Boston Harbor until almost 4 months after the flood.
Dead.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to make sure because I got distracted by the name.
No, they lived underwater for 4 months and survived.
Maybe he has a fucking boat and he was fishing or something.
Oh,
I don't
no.
know.
He got swept into the harbor.
Oh, okay.
Died. Yeah, they
Wow.
didn't find him for a long time. So yeah, I guess that answered our question. Some of it did go into the harbor.
Yeah.
Following the incident, police, Red Cross, Army, and Navy personnel arrived on the scene to assist. There was such a large number of injured people, doctors and surgeons set up a makeshift hospital in the nearby building. Rescuers found it difficult to make their way through the syrup, obviously,
Yeah, I fucking bet.
to help the victims, and 4 days elapsed before they stopped searching. Many of the dead were so glazed over in molasses that they were hard to recognize.
You die in water, your body kind of gets bloated, yucky,
Yeah.
drowning victims, very gross to look at. You die in molasses, then
I
what?
feel like it would almost preserve you.
Right? Like a bog.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming at that point it's probably anaerobic.
And it's sugar.
Like you're not doing any aerobics in there.
You don't know.
Yeah, let me just fucking do my jazzercise right now. Covered in molasses.
I feel like it would preserve you for a certain amount of time.
Or at least, yeah, like...
Well, it's locking the
We'll
air
look
out
into
too. Like
Yeah, it's anaerobic.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm not very smart.
It's okay, yes.
So very obviously, legal action was soon to be taken by the
Good.
victims of the flood. And as I'm sure you can imagine, based on the various other stories we've covered where large corporations are at fault for deaths and injuries, the company initially tried to not take responsibility.
No way.
119 residents brought a class action lawsuit against the USIA,
The
Industrial
company that-
Alcohol Company.
That's the company that owned the container.
Contents. Yeah. No, they owned the
Oh,
contents.
they owned the contents?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, sorry.
Guess what the company told them the cause of the explosion was?
A faulty container.
No, they tried to say it was sabotage.
From who?
The company attempted to claim that the tank had been blown up by anarchists because some of the alcohol produced was to be used for making munitions.
I think that would be more fun than what actually happened.
Right. And if someone tried to sabotage it, I'm imagining they would just, like, shoot things at it and stuff. Like, yeah, it's just, anyway, so they tried to say that people against the war or whatever, like, were...
Shut up.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
No one believes you.
Thankfully, a court-appointed auditor found the USIA responsible after 3 years of hearings, unfortunately. The company ultimately paid out $628,000 in damages, which today is about $11 million.
Wow.
Which is, I don't know. It's a lot, but it's not actually that much.
That's probably nowhere close to the costs to, like, the city to having to clean all of that fucking mess up.
It's not enough.
And the damages.
It's never enough when these kind of things happen.
You've got families of 21 dead people.
Yep, and then 150 that probably have, like, injuries that create lifelong chronic pain.
Stupid.
And yeah.
Oh, sorry, honey. My knee's all wibbly wobbly from the molasses that I got in my joint 30 years ago. Tom, shut up! Mow the grass! I don't care about your molasses having ass.
Cleanup, obviously.
Sorry, they were from Boston. Tom, shut up!
I don't care about your molasses accident.
That sounded more like Minnesota.
You think?
I thought
it sounded like Jersey.
Maybe. Honestly, they're kind of similar accents.
They're not that different.
Yeah, if you put them close together, they're the same.
So cleanup obviously took ages. It was very difficult.
Yeah, I fucking bet.
Cleanup crews used salt water to wash away the molasses and then sand to try and absorb it. Which is like making a... I mean, it helps probably, but it probably makes an even bigger mess.
Should put cat litter on it.
The cleanup took several weeks with hundreds of people contributing to the effort. But as you can imagine, when you pour fucking syrup onto an entire town, it's going to stick around for a while.
I'm gonna leave. If you make one more fucking pun, I'm leaving.
The first two I didn't even mean to make. It was reported that, quote, everything that a Bostonian touched was sticky.
Have you been to Boston lately? It's the same.
It's still sticky.
I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there.
So the youngest person to die from this was 10 years old, Maria Di Stasio. And then I think the oldest person was, I forgot the whole list here. Yeah, it was 78, Michael Sinot. But yeah, 21 people between those ages.
I'm glad that it did not discriminate. That's one good thing that you can say about the Great Molasses Wave. It didn't care who you were or what you stood for.
It wasn't racist.
Were there black people that were killed?
Probably not, because it said Italian and Irish immigrants were mostly in the area.
It might have been racist. Can't speak for the wave.
People were, like, in a weird way, racist against Irish people.
Yeah, they
and
were
Italian people. Like,
they were very much discriminated against them.
They're stealing our jobs.
We see it still with immigrants coming into the U.S. now. Fucking kills me, man.
Absolutely. But that is the story of the Great Molasses Flood, and I have some pictures if you'd like to
I would love to see some photos. Yes, please.
This is the newspaper article. So this is when they haven't found everyone yet, because it says 11 dead. Boys'
Story Aid to Mrs. Labate. 35 states on dry law list. Secrecy and Peace Congress. I see the headline. Huge molasses tank explodes at North End.
She's just reading the smaller headlines on this fucking newspaper.
Do you ever go to a restaurant and they have, like, fake newspaper prints? I have to read it every time.
Yeah, I like reading them. All right, so here's after the cleanup, just, like, filling the fucking streets.
Oh, goodness.
Obviously, these photos are in black and white, so it kind of just looks like water initially, but obviously it's not. Yeah.
Why couldn't they just take the pictures in color, you idiots? Turn your
fucking
filter off.
Noobs. How embarrassing.
Yeah, don't even know how to use a Snapchat
But,
filter.
like, this looks like a hurricane.
It does. It really does.
Like, I think this is this is a giant piece of the metal.
Wow.
Looks like, is there a person there? No, there's not. But yeah, this is a train track.
Yeah.
Like.
That's crazy.
Fucking insane.
Look at that old-timey ambulance.
So I saw this photo. There's an ambulance trying to go through the syrup.
Looks like it's the other angle of that one.
Oh yeah, it might be. My first thought was like, the syrup's just gonna keep caking up on their tires.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
Eventually, it's gonna be hard to drive that fucking thing. You're gonna have to power wash it.
You try to go, and the syrup just sticks you to the ground. I don't know why it's not going, Sarah. I don't know what that accent was.
Transatlantic, kind of?
It
was a little bit.
Yeah, see? Put the metal to the metal.
No, see, I'm trying to clean up the molasses.
No, see? molasses everywhere, okay? Trying to drive here. Thank you for that story.
They just start convulsing.
Of course. That's what happens when you try to drive a truck covered in molasses.
Oh my god.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that story.
You're welcome.
You ready for mine?
I'm ready for your story.
Great. Awesome. I'm really excited. I think this is a really cool story. And it's actually, it's not, I mean, it's a story, but like,
Okay.
it's actually a really old legend.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, it's Greek.
Let's go.
It's a Greek legend.
I love Greek mythology, legends, all this stuff.
Yeah. So not a lot of people know about the story. I don't really know why, because he's like a super cool figure in Greek mythology. His name is Bopharides.
Okay.
And
Bopharides nuts.
You took my fucking joke. There is no Bopharides. I made it up. I told Casey I was gonna get you, and you fucking got me with my own joke. I'm so mad right now. I'm so mad. I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm gonna walk out.
This is the impact you have had on me because I never made these jokes before you and I became friends.
So
It's your fault that I said it.
all right, I just gotta share this story with you really quick because this is where this came from. There's this old guy at work. He's a crotchety old man.
Okay.
And he has been working for this company for like literally 40 years.
Okay.
And people love to fuck with him because he's just easy to fuck with. Very fuck withable, you know?
Yeah, fuck
And-
with exactly.
He likes to act like he knows everything about history and politics and art and
Well,
whatever.
men do. They know everything.
He's just an old geezer.
Yeah.
And he loves Greek and Roman history.
Okay.
And so
This sounds like Bobby in 40 years.
oh, I'm sure it will be. I'm very sure. So one of the supervisors was like talking, just kind of, this guy, he's in a different department now. He has a disability, so he can't do the work that he used to.
Okay.
So people were kind of reminiscing and like telling stories from when he used to be fuckwit crazy and like wouldn't take his medication.
Oh, Jesus.
And they used to like love to purposefully rile him up because he would just start screaming. So one of the
like this
guys came in and was like, hey, yeah, you ever heard of this this Greek hero? It was actually Hercules' brother, Bopharides. And he was this great fighter. And then the old man's like, oh, yeah, I know all about him. Yeah, he was critical at the battle, blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
And they went on for like 30 minutes. And then finally the supervisor, he wasn't a supervisor at the time, so it's not a supervisor at the time, goes, yeah, Bopharides nuts. And the old guy lost his fucking mind.
In a bad way? Like he was
Yes.
mad?
Yes.
But he made up a whole fucking story about something that didn't exist.
That's the kind of person that he was. So Casey and I were talking about this, and I
Real
was
quick,
like,
you know, like men, if you don't know the answer, you don't have to say anything.
I mean, that goes for everybody.
True.
That goes for everybody.
But it just feels like older men are the ones that usually do it.
I think a big thing that everybody needs to learn is when to shut the fuck up.
Agree.
Like, not even in a bad way. Just
Yeah.
like, it's okay to not talk about
It's okay to
something.
not know something.
It's totally fine.
You could just say, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's like,
Anyways.
it's okay. So I was just talking with Casey, and I was like, I bet I could get Harmony with this. I bet I could get her. And so we like talked about it, and he was like, you can't say Bopharides because she'll know immediately. You've got to like change the pronunciation. I really thought that I had it, man.
I genuinely did think you were telling me about someone in Bopharides, and I was like, oh, ins and e's? That's easy. These nuts. And those jokes don't come to me often.
If you have an old crotchety coworker who
We
loves
wanna-
Greek or Roman
I want to
mythology,
hear their stories.
you should hit him with both of these nuts. Now,
Figuratively and literally.
today I had a very stressful week. So I'm going to talk to you. We're going to swing it back to some 2023 energy, and you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about here. You guys won't understand. There was a period in my life where for some reason there were a couple of key facts that I would just spout off to people. Nobody would ask for them. Nobody would care. I would literally walk up and I would go, "Did you know this?" And they'd go, "Okay." And then I'd walk away. Today we're talking about clams.
Do clams have eyes?
Clams do have eyes.
Yes!
All right, so I labeled this Clam Slam Jam Clam Facts.
Claiming these nuts.
Yeah. So clams are bivalves. What the fuck is a bivalve? A bivalve is a collection of critters in the mollusk family. They are characterized by having two shells hinged together, protecting their soft, squishy little bodies that taste delicious, but not to me. This family...
Bivalve?
Bivalve.
Bivalve.
Yes,
Makes
two
sense.
valves.
Two valves.
Two
valves.
valves. Two vag.
Two badges.
So sad.
It's like the lips of a vagina is their little shell.
Dude.
Shoop.
I was looking at pictures of clams, and there were a few times where I was like,
Is that a clam or is that a vagina?
I don't know. I've never seen one before.
We should...
A clam, I mean. I've never seen a clam. I do know that they have eyes. What's a vagina?
I don't know. What's a vagina with you?
Mom? Anyway.
I've seen a clam fried right before I eat it.
What?
Fried clams.
Okay, actually, how do they do that?
What do you mean?
I've never ordered fried clams or fried oysters. So they come in, they're shells. They fry the whole shell.
No. They take the little meat out and they fry
Oh.
it. To be honest, fried clams are very underwhelming because there is such little meat that you're really just eating fried dough.
Did I tell you that I tried crab for the first time?
Maybe? I don't think so.
It was snow crab claws, like the little
Oh, I
ones.
love snow crab.
Very, like, almost overwhelmingly flavorful.
Yes.
I had a couple of bites. And Casey had ordered, like, a lot. I, like, had 2 bites, and I was like, I can't. Like, this is too much.
Did you dip it in anything?
No, I just had it by itself.
Dip it in butter next time.
It was, I don't know if I like it.
No?
Like, it was a lot of, like, flavor, crab. And I was like, I just don't know if that's for me.
It doesn't taste fishy, though. Like, that's
No.
what I like about it. It just tastes very minerally, sea-y, ocean-y.
And it, like, fell apart.
Yes.
Which I liked the texture.
Yeah.
And I wish the taste was, like, reduced by 1/10, I think. It was, like, really rich.
Yeah. I wonder, it sounds like that was seasoned pretty heavily because crab to me is usually not too crazily flavorful unless I dip it in butter or something. But
I mean, it was in the claws. Like, we had to break the claws and stuff
yeah, but
to,
they
like,
can still
pull
like
it out.
steam it in. But anyways,
I
yeah,
have
yeah,
no
yeah.
idea.
I don't know. I'm glad you tried it though.
Thank you. Me too. So bivalves. This family includes scallops, oysters, clams, and mussels. Ugh.
Oh,
Insert flex here is literally a note.
look at
in...
them biceps.
Oh yeah. Look at these bivalves. That's literally a note in my thing. Insert flex here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So they're hard body, 2 shells.
Mm-hmm.
Those are that's the valve. One shell is a valve, the other is another valve.
Another valve.
Together they're
Bivalve.
bivalves. They also have 2 siphons, which are mussels that pull water in and then shoot it out.
Ooh.
One's for eating, one's for pooping, my favorite of the
Okay.
2. And on top of providing spaces for the mollusks to exist,
In their little shell.
yeah, they provide protection because it's a hard shell.
Okay.
And it consists of different layers of calcium carbonate. These hard shells also help the critters adapt to different environments and prevent dehydration in intertidal environments. So that's like, where the tide can come in or out,
So they get to store their little water in there, keep them going.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to when clams dry out
Oh,
later
okay.
too, because that's actually super interesting. So the guys like they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're pretty wild, and you can actually tell what kind of environment the bivalve is made for, based on the shape of their shells. So oysters, for example, secure themselves on rocky surfaces, and their shells reflect their surroundings and let them like blend in.
Yeah, they look like little rocks.
Yeah. Flatter shells, like on clams, allow for easy burrowing into sediment.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got like the curved shells with a fan-like flare.
Yep.
Usually means it can swim.
Like the one that the Little Mermaid has on her boobies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can swim.
Her boobies can swim. That's why
Like,
she swims.
can they...
Her boobs, like,
That puts a new
propel her through the water.
meaning to the term motorboat. By the way, I always thought it was really crazy that in SpongeBob, the like little scallops
Uh-huh.
can swim around.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there were actually bivalves that could swim.
Really?
I had no clue.
Like, propel through the water?
Yes.
I didn't know that either.
So that's why, like, in SpongeBob, I don't know if you knew too, the creators of SpongeBob loved marine biology. Some of them were marine biologists. And so, like, all of the animals that you see, or some of the things that they'll make references to, like SpongeBob talking about filter feeding, sponges filter feed.
they
That's
do.
a normal thing for them.
Yeah.
You little clam bird things fly around. They
Yeah,
don't make
yeah.
sounds in real life, but
No, they
also-
make bird sounds, just like the episode.
fun little fact here.
Yes.
And we're gonna go on to a little side tangent.
Okay.
Bikini Bottom
Uh-huh.
was actually named after Bikini Atoll, which is an island in the Marshall Islands where the U.S. detonated 23 or 24 nuclear weapons. They did these tests in the air, on the reef itself, underwater, and on the sea, because why not?
Oh my god. I love that little piece of knowledge. That's incredible.
It gets better.
And I love SpongeBob.
So when we were doing these tests, we literally like evacuated the residents And we told them, you can't live here anymore because what we're doing is of great importance to humankind. Go away. So
We need to blow things up. Get out.
Literally. So during one of the operations, which was named Castle Bravo, they they detonated a bomb that ended up being over 1,000 times the power of the atomic bomb detonated on Hiroshima.
What the fuck?
Yes. And higher levels of fallout than what was expected began descending on the area where the crew who had fired the bomb were located.
Oh, fuck.
They weren't expecting it because it was 1,000 times higher. They had no fucking clue,
Did they die?
No.
Okay.
They did shelter indoors for a few hours while they waited for an airlift rescue.
You don't fucking say.
And then when they realized, oh shit, there's debris over here, well, we need to evacuate other islands. But they waited 2 or 3 days to evacuate those islands. And some of those citizens actually showed symptoms of acute radiation sickness.
Shit.
Yeah. Those citizens of those evacuated islands were allowed to return home 3 years later, but then were forced to relocate when the islands were found to be unsafe.
You don't fucking say.
I have LOL in parentheses there.
Where is this?
The Marshall Islands.
These poor fucking...
It's a random little fun fact. Anytime that I can share anything to do with, like, radiation or nuclear bombs, I guess, I just want to share it.
It's very interesting. I mean, it's your job, but also it's very interesting.
Well, not the bombs, but yeah.
No, it is your job to make the bombs.
I'm one of the people that Trump fired. I'm one of the nuclear bomb keepers that he fired.
God
That's not
damn
true.
That's not
true. That's not true at all. That's not my job.
No, it's not. She doesn't actually make bombs.
I am a contractor, though, and I'm a little concerned, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to bivalves. Elongated shells, like on mussels.
Like on those ones?
Yeah.
Elongated.
Allow them to attach to various surfaces using bossis threads, I think is how it's pronounced, or maybe bossis, to live in dense clusters together.
Yeah, like when you pull mussels apart, they kind of have these little like stringy things.
I've never eaten mussels.
Oh, no. I mean, like when you pull. So when I was working at that Navy job that I had.
Oh, you're talking about like when you take them off of things?
Yeah, when you pull them off, they have those little threads, like all like kind of around their shell. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's kind of like roots from a plant, except it's a little critter and it anchors itself to rocks.
Pretty cool.
It's also called the beard.
Oh!
And is typically removed before cooking. So the 2 valves, which are the hard shells once again, are held together on one side by an elastic band called a ligament. And in a relaxed state, it opens up the shell. Okay. So they have to use their abductors. They have abductors. It's literally what it's called. Yeah. To close the shell.
Do you think when they're trying to grow their glutes, they go like this over and over again?
Yeah. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
So that's a little fun thing. So it's easy to stop a mussel from closing its shell, but very hard to open it. Because,
yes, it is.
Yeah. Their little muscles to close aren't super...
You mean as it's closing?
Yes,
very
as
easy
it's closing.
to open.
Yes.
But once it's closed, very difficult to open.
Yes. Sorry, my little brain.
Yeah, you're good.
And
have you ever had to shuck like a mussel or an oyster or anything like that?
Have you not realized from my lack of knowledge about bivalves that I don't know shit about dick?
I had to. So the reason that I was doing this is because when I was working at the place where they were training dolphins, they were testing the water, and how they test the water is through the mussels. So the interns, which was me, were required to take the mussels off of the...
What were they testing the water for?
Just like the water quality.
Okay.
To make sure it was good for the dolphins, basically. I mean, I think that's what they were testing. I wasn't part of that research project, unfortunately. Okay. But I was doing the dirty work. So yeah, we'd have to scrape them off of the sides of the dock and then bring them back to the facility, and we would have to shuck them. And if you're not cooking them, they're really fucking hard to shuck. And one girl, like, when they have these oyster knives, she sliced the fuck out of her hand. It was pretty bad. Yeah.
Dude, not with a knife. My stepdad, him and my mom were out paddleboarding with some friends, and it was low tide, and he fell onto an oyster bed and cut the fuck
They
out
are
of his
sharp.
hand.
They're so sharp.
That's where I figured you were going to go with that.
No.
I was asking, though, about, like, what testing you were doing. Because at work, one of the things that we do is environmental testing to basically negative data to prove that we're not releasing any radiation anywhere.
Yeah.
And so we collect sea life. And so our radiation health people will shuck those clams.
Oh, nice.
And then they get put into a blender and they get... And then it gets put into a machine that I don't fuck with. It's not my job. And it gets counted for radiation.
That's a lot of protein. Clam smoothie?
We've talked about drinking it. You can smell when they're doing it.
Oh, God. It would be so bad.
It's very nasty.
It's real bad.
It's not the best.
No.
Anyway, inside the shell, things get kind of yucky, icky.
Okay.
for the body of a bivalve. You got a simple little head, no eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You got the foot, which is used for burrowing and general locomotion. They got gills. And then the mantle is like the inside lining of their shell, basically.
Uh-huh.
And that's what actually produces the shell and helps form the siphons.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do they eat and how do they poop? That's literally what this section is called.
This is important
It
information.
really is. Apparently, they have pretty complex tummies because I found that the different types of stomachs actually have been used to identify different classifications of bivalves.
Interesting.
Yeah. Huh. And from what I understand, too, because they have both a mouth and a stomach and then a butt, they have a complex digestive system. I believe that's the
These guys
terminology.
are so tiny. They got so much going on in there with their little tummies.
They got a lot going on.
That's wild.
They got a lot going on. I will tell you when we get to like what I think is the fact of the podcast for me.
Okay.
Because there was a fact that I read where I was like, huh, don't like that.
I'm actually very surprised that they have a separate mouth and poop hole.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised that they don't share one.
Like a cloaca?
Yeah, exactly. I would have thought that it would be more simple.
I found out that there is a mutation that some people can be born with, that like your poop hole and your vagina and your urethra are not formed separately.
Oh,
And they have to go in and like surgically separate them.
Well, that's just horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh,
Anyway.
God. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. So, much like us, their digestion takes place in 2 phases. So, they have their extracellular digestion, which is kind of the same as like us using our teeth to mash food up and break it down. Their head actually grinds against their stomach wall, which rotates the food. And as the food is rotated, it dissolves, releasing enzymes and beginning the extracellular digestion.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that food is passed in a fluid suspension into the, quote, digestive diverticula, which is just the pouch where digestion can take place.
That's wild because there's an illness called diverticulitis, which is when you have like a really sensitive stomach issues. Diverticulitis.
Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it just means stomach. I didn't look up what that word meant. I'm very sorry.
Dare you? It's fine.
And their digestive diverticula, I had to think about that. Yeah, that's where like that's the equivalent to like our stomach, where our stomach acid goes in and breaks everything down further, yada, yada, yada. Poop gets gathered in the midgut and the rectum, and then it gets popped out as, quote, firm fecal pellets.
Ooh.
Same.
Like little rabbit poopies, but tiny.
And then apparently for some of these, their digestive system is regulated with the tide.
Oh.
So as the tide goes out and they like dry up, then obviously it'll perform different tasks. And when it comes back, pooping.
Nice.
So the inhalant siphon works to pull the food and water into the bivalve, while the exhaling siphon works to poop it out, which is kind of like if our lungs and our butts were connected, kind of.
Imagine.
Some people I think would die from their own stench.
Yes.
If their butts and their lungs were connected.
Yeah.
So they have blood and a little heart.
Oh.
Yes. Which is kind of strange.
It's very strange. They have blood?
Yes.
Weird. I always thought they were just like little gray goop.
And this is the fact of the podcast. This is what really made me go, ugh.
Let's go.
Bivalves have kidneys and they produce urine.
What?
Yep. Don't like that.
Wild.
Yeah.
Damn. There is so much more to these little guys.
The more that I kept researching, like I figured I'd have like 10 facts and have to like shove this into a mini or something.
Yeah.
And then like they just kept coming. And then obviously they have gills as their respiratory system, but they don't really need to breathe a lot because they're pretty stationary most of the time. So
Same.
intertidal bivalves, which are the ones that are exposed to wet and dry situations, actually seem to cease all respiration during dry times. If you put a dried clam back in the water, though, like these guys can like survive for a really long time because they stop the respiration. They can survive for like a few days if they need.
Wow.
But if you take that dehydrated clam and you put it back into the water, it'll quickly open up and go and suck all that water in.
Yeah,
and
you know that I'm trying to think when I was a little kid, we used to go somewhere, some beach, and that was like a thing. We would try to play with the really little, tiny little clams, and like when you'd take them out of the water for like a little bit, put them back in, and sometimes they'd open up, and like we would play with them that way. I have this weird memory of that for some reason. Either it's my memory or someone told it to me.
No, when I was
hard to say.
a little kid and I would play at the beach, would do the same thing. And you always try to like pry them open because you're a kid, and what the fuck else are you gonna do with a little clam?
And they're so teeny.
They are
They're
itty bitty.
like smaller than my thumb, like tiny little guys.
They get even smaller.
Ooh.
But even if it's been fully dehydrated, in about 12 hours after being exposed to water, it'll be back to its normal state. Isn't that neat?
They're very resilient.
Yeah. So bivalves are part of the mollusk family, as I said before, with mollusk meaning soft. But if I'm being honest, I thought that the name of the family they were in had the word foot in somewhere in its name meaning, because I figured with the foot. But then I think I'm getting it confused with cephalopods, and then I looked it up, and for some reason this is the whole thing where I talk about how I mixed up the name mollusk and cephalopod has the word foot in it, but then I'm confused because mollusks have feet.
You wrote down your whole train of thought.
I really did.
I love it.
And nobody understands it except for me, but it is there. But yes, bivalves have a singular foot, which can evolve to help the mollusk anchor down, such as on mussels, or dig into things, like on shipworms. You ever heard of a fucking shipworm?
No!
I didn't either until recently.
What is it?
Talk about it in a bit.
Okay.
So, the foot can be used for movement. They can shove it in the ground and fill it with blood to anchor it down and not allow the body to pull itself, or not allow its body to get pulled out.
Yeah.
And then they can also throw their foot out, attach it to something, and slowly drag themselves along the floor with it.
That's creepy!
Right? And then another form of movement is, like we talked about, they can use their abductor and adductor muscles to quickly close the halves of their shell, ejecting water that was held within and sending it flying through the sea.
So they're like literally flying like little birdies.
Yes.
That's so cute.
Have you never seen a video or anything?
No.
I guess that makes sense because you and I both didn't know.
Yeah.
I'll pull up a video at the end and
Okay.
It's, when you see it, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How do they make babies?
Ooh, okay.
So, females release eggs into the open ocean to be fertilized.
Okay.
And they kind of float around aimlessly until something happens. So, I want you to close your eyes.
Okay.
Now you are in the sea.
Yes, I am.
There are fish everywhere.
Hmm?
You are but a clam egg freely floating in the ocean when suddenly you feel the soft, warm hug of clam jizz fertilizing you. The male's just is in the ocean too.
How did they find each other?
They just float around until it happens.
That's wild.
Yeah, right? Now what?
I don't know.
Me either. Now what?
What?
What do we... Now what?
I don't know.
I didn't get this far.
What do you mean?
I'm joking. So they float around after becoming a fertilized little cell as an itty-bitty little clamling, which is also known as a larva.
Ew.
Which I hate that too.
I hate that word.
I hate knowing that clams have a larva stage.
I don't like that.
And they can be smaller than the width of a human hair.
Wow.
So you just kind of float around and you hope that you aren't eaten by some other filter feeder and that you survive long enough to grow enough to gain enough weight until you settle to the bottom, where you can slowly grow and grow until you're actually visible to the human eye. And then bam, you're a clam.
So they grow their little shell. Is it like, do they use the sand or anything? Or is it just like that's all their own matter?
It's all their own matter.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Huh.
Right?
Because sometimes you think about like hermit crabs, you know, and like how that's not, like the shells aren't really theirs.
They
And
don't,
like,
they're fucking little thieves, those fucking little bastards.
poor hermit crabs, leave them alone.
I had hermit crabs as a kid.
Yeah, I got some for my cousin once.
Yeah?
They're kind of hard to take care of. They're not really meant to be pets.
I was a child. My dad took care of them.
Yeah. Anyways.
So some bivalves keep their little fertilized eggs inside their bodies until they're large enough to be expelled.
Mm-hmm.
And also, some bivalves start out as one gender, and then after a certain amount of time, grow to be another.
Whoa!
Yeah. And then some, like scallops, just stay hermaphroditic.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, pretty cool. So now, we're at little fun facts. This is just kind of fun little things that I've kind of known about clams and other species that I would just go up to random people and tell them about that nobody ever asked for because that's who I was.
Those are the best kind of facts, the ones that no one asked for.
So, because of how the shells grow through the hot and cold parts of the year, most bivalve shells actually have hard ridges to them, like a tree.
Mm-hmm.
They grow faster during the hot months, slower during the cold, which is what causes these ridges to form. This means you can actually count the ridges on the shell to see how many years that dang thing's been around.
Oh, like a tree.
Yeah. Like a
Cute.
tree. The oldest clam to have been found was off the coast of Florida. It was dated to be born roughly the same year that Abraham Lincoln was born.
Whoa.
They named it Abraclam Lincoln.
Of course they did. Be rude if you didn't.
This is another little fact that I've known for a long time, and it makes me very happy. Clams are really good at filtering water, and they are so good that they've actually been used in a water processing facility in Poland to monitor the water quality.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the main water pump has 8 clams that have triggers attached to the top of their shells. When the water gets too toxic, they close, and the trigger shuts off the city's water supply.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So they're responsible for the water of over 8 million people in Warsaw.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure on those poor little clams.
You know, they'll go out into the wild, they'll get a couple of clams, and those clams will serve a 3-month stint. Thank you for your service. And then they're returned to the lake where they came from.
Incredible. That was Poland, you said?
Yeah.
That's very cool.
We mentioned it before. This was the big fact that, like, when I found out and I looked up pictures, like I was telling everyone, clams have eyes.
Yeah.
And the swimming species of bivalves actually have surprisingly advanced eyes, which are along their mantle rim, which is like the rim of the shell, basically.
Yeah.
And they use those to, like, look around while they're swimming.
That's unsettling.
And avoid predators and stuff. Yeah. And it's actually one of those things that, like, I was down to clown with bivalves before, I guess you could say, you know. I was like, clams are chill. They're good. And then I saw they had eyes, and I went, you know, it makes sense that H.P. Lovecraft was terrified of the ocean now. I get it. Fuck that racist ass bitch, but you have a point. You know? Shipworms. So shipworms are a type of bivalve that are literally born and made and evolved to latch on to, like, the bottoms of boats and stuff and eat through and bore holes in the wood.
Oof.
Yeah. They look more like worms than clams, but they have a shell.
I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's usually like, what the fuck were those called?
It's a shipworm.
That's not what I was thinking.
That's not...
Gross. How big is that?
They can get pretty long. Like, I think I saw 12 to 16 inches for some of them.
Damn.
Really, really long.
Disturbing.
Not a fan. They are mollusks.
Limpets.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking of, limpets.
Limpets biscuits?
Exactly.
Just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked. Everybody shucks. It's shucks. God damn it. We're bivalves today.
Did you ever read that story of the little... It was a children's story. Like a
A children's story about shucking clams?
No, of a picture book of this little girl that got a limpet stuck to her finger.
I don't know what a limpet is. I'll be really honest with you.
Limpet!
Limpet? How do you spell that?
Limpet. Twist it. Bop it.
The food?
No.
Oh. Aquatic snails and shellfish with conical shells that cling to rocks.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure those are the ones that you see on, like, the...
Or like a barnacle?
Yeah, like a barnacle. Yes.
Like a
I think those are, like,
barnacle.
one and the same, I think.
Oh.
Oh, a barnacle.
Oh. They have teeth. Ugh.
Ew.
Anyway.
Sorry. Sidetrack.
Back to the lecture at hand.
Of course.
Some bivalves have actually been able to bore holes into limestone.
Holy cow.
I literally have a note that just says, what the fuck? And then it made me think about when whales die and they float to the bottom. There's a species of worm that's evolved that eats the marrow out of the whale bones.
Damn.
That's not a fucking mollusk fact, but like...
That's grody.
I would love to do an episode on whale fall because it's sick. You ever seen a geoduck?
No. What's that?
It's a clam.
Ew, I don't like that. I do not like that. It looks like a giant slug coming out of a clamshell.
Smash.
Get out of here.
Probably the most phallic looking critter I've seen in a while.
Geoduck?
Geoduck.
Why? That doesn't resemble any kind of duck.
Feel like it's squirting out water.
What's wrong with it? Why is it like that?
That's just how it looks.
What's the point of it having a shell if it's coming out of the shell?
Well, look at the fucking shipworm. What do you want it to do?
It's disgusting. It looks like a tapeworm. I hate that.
There are giant clams that can grow to be over 700 pounds in weight.
Holy
and more
hell.
than 4 feet long.
Wow.
And then I have a fun fact from Casey. He would like me to share that clams, mussels, and oysters taste delicious raw. But I believe he actually specified that he loves the feeling of a nice raw geoduck in his mouth.
Glad to know he likes to suck sea slug dick.
All right, let me make sure my volume's off here. I gotta get a video of a scallop swimming around. Get out of here. I don't need South Park right now. You ready?
Yes, you do.
They swim in the way that anime girls look like they're running when they're like running late for school.
Okay. Like jumped. Ew. Ah! Oh my god. That's unsettling.
They shouldn't move. I don't like that they move.
That's weird.
Isn't it crazy?
Oh my god. Yes, they do look like an anime girl running away. It's like It's like when you're running, but like your arms are like behind you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was great. I loved all those fun facts.
I'm glad you liked it. I was a little worried you'd be sad I wasn't doing like an actual story.
I don't know. But like they don't have to be necessarily just stories. Like the more you know, that's what this podcast is. Like let's all educate ourselves, learn cool stuff. There's so much shit in the ocean. I mean, we would be talking until we died if we wanted to do just ocean facts. Like
I got a video right here for a sea squater. A sea skater.
Sea squater.
The ocean bug that can't get wet. Same. No, I'm joking. Cut it. Oh my god, look at this. Octo win a cup. Dolphins react to bizarre bubbles. What's inside a clam? Where is this video when I was looking for it?
Now we're just on your YouTube. What is happening? Now there's a bird. Now we're just looking at your YouTube suggestions.
Ooh!
Yes?
Oh wait, no, I sent it to you. The little goblin shark thing.
The goblin shark thing.
Goblin these nuts. No, it's like a little shark. I'm so certain I sent it to you.
Goblin shark. No, you did not send that.
An angular rough shark. Look at how stupid it looks.
Oh, it's sorry.
It
wanted to be invited to the party, and it didn't get invited. Oh my god.
It's a bad photo. It won't load, but you get...
It looks like it would be... It looks like it would be like rough, like a weird rough texture.
Yeah, they look like they're made of sandpaper.
Yeah.
They're called the angular rough shark.
Strange.
Yeah, I think they're very cute.
It looks so bloated. Oh, its little tail is like... Nyoink.
It's how I feel after eating like at an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Taco Bell.
Fat little... Oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy. Oh, we didn't look up the square footage of the flood.
The what?
The molasses flood. You wanted to know about the square footage.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So, okay. Thank you for the reminder.
Yes.
I'm so sorry I forgot about this.
No, you're good.
At work, we have to do this thing where we like estimate the size of liquid spills depending on the amount. So we... It's really bad estimation, but sometimes it gets you there.
Okay.
1 gallon of water can cover roughly 40 square feet.
Okay.
So I'm just going to open up a calculator real quick.
But it's
so
40% more dense than water.
It can still get like...
Yeah.
It assumes a depth of 1 millimeter.
Okay.
If the volume is still the same, then it should, in theory, spread out the same.
Yeah.
So how many? It was 2.5 million gallons?
0.3, yeah.
2.3 million gallons?
Mm-hmm.
2.3 million times 40 square foot. That's not right. Oh, no, that makes sense. 92 million square feet. So what is 1 square foot?
Yeah, wait. How big is this city?
How
With some of it going into the harbor.
Square feet in 1 mile? Roughly. This is with math assuming that it all went onto the land and not into the ocean, which we know is not the case.
Uh-huh.
But at most, assuming a depth of 1 millimeter, 3.3 miles. 3.3 square miles.
That's a lot of fucking molasses.
Yeah, that's a lot of molasses.
Almost 4 miles, like...
Yeah.
Molasses my asses.
There you go. That's
Thank
math.
you.
You're welcome.
It's a really sticky circumference.
Actually, how many square feet molasses? These are the most common tips for applying molasses to your soil.
Oh.
1/2 cup liquid molasses for every 1,000 square feet.
Great.
I don't know what that
Why are we putting
means.
molasses in our soil?
No idea. I don't know.
Well, anyway, so yeah, somewhere around 3 miles it covered,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah, how the fuck did I do that?
Oh, I forgot to say that this is our 10th episode.
Is it?
It's a mile marker. It is.
For a mini? Oh, no, it's a full episode.
It's a full.
What am I doing?
Bitch. Sit down.
Bitch.
Be humble.
Oh.
Bitch.
Pedophile. That's Drake.
Say Drake.
Drake.
I hear you like 'em young.
A minor.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
No, I actually haven't even heard the song.
I bet you have. I would watch his performance because I know you like Kendrick Lamar, right? Like,
Yeah, I like him.
yeah. I think you would really like it. Like,
No, I like his music. I have been on a very big Led Zeppelin and David Bowie kick.
those are quite different from Kendrick Lamar.
They are incredibly different, and both
Yeah.
will be relevant for my next main.
Ooh, let's go.
It'll be a good one.
Oh, I'm excited.
You should be. Not excited.
Okay, I'm not. I actually am not. I was just being nice.
It's very kind. Thank you for pretending.
I hate everything here.
Yeah, I can tell. Anyway.
Can I just like air a grievance really quick?
Oh, whoa. Yeah. Okay,
It's
right
really
now?
small.
On the podcast?
It's really
Like me?
small. No.
Oh, yeah.
Just
go
like
for it.
something that bothers me.
I thought we were going to be doing like a heart-to-heart live for everybody. That's why I was like getting ready to sit
prepared for me to
Yeah.
like give you your yearly review or something.
Yes, I fucking tucked my feet in and everything.
Here's the 5 things that you could work on.
I'm annoying. I talk too much about clams. I say these nuts too much.
Those are some of them, yes.
I sweat and I smell sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's the other two.
Yep, that's it.
Otherwise, I'm perfect.
You did it. Review over. For me, it's I think every symptom I have is me dying.
Okay.
I need everything to be perfect,
Yeah.
or we all die. I'm not very nice.
We have talked about, though, everyone needs to be meaner to each other, so that one's fine. Keep that one.
So I'm living up to my resolution.
Yeah. I think you need to work on the horse girl energy.
Do you think I need to work on that?
Yeah, I need you to amp it up.
I feel like it is amped.
I need more horse, more girl.
And more horse girl. What were we talking about initially? Oh, I was gonna air a grievance.
Yeah, what's your...
You know what I hate? It's so stupid. When people say something is fire.
On God, for real, for real?
On God, for real, Hundy PP.
No cap. Straight bussin'.
Straight bussin'.
All facts, no printer.
Ohio, Riz. Skibbity toilet.
Hold up.
What are you doing? Oh no, what's happening?
When will we hitting the Gwitty? Thank you.
If I hear someone say, that's so fire, again, I'm going to light them on fire. And I feel like that's justified.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's fire.
That's my grievance.
What do I have? Do I have any grievances?
What bothers you right now, besides the hostile government takeover?
I don't like when I make plans and then one small thing comes and like I have to reevaluate all my plans. I don't like that. That's my
one
grievance.
little tiny bump that turns into a molehill.
Yep. Yep.
That's the saying. Don't turn a mountain into a molehill.
Don't turn a sebaceous filament
into
an open wound on your face.
But I want to.
Isn't that what that's called? The sebaceous filaments?
Some of them are, yeah. Usually the ones on your nose are sebaceous filaments.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sebum is the oil. It's such a gross word.
And sebum.
Sebum, that's
is
what
the bodybuilder.
I'm sorry, not sebus. Sebum is what's in your nose.
And he's the bodybuilder.
Is that someone's name? That's a
Sebum,
bodybuilder?
yeah. It's Chris Bumstead. He shortens it down to Sebum.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see bum.
I see bums.
People. Do you think we should wrap it up, or do you think we should do this for like 40 more minutes?
I think this is it. I think we've run out of funny. Not that we really had much to begin with.
We would never. We are full, overfilling with funny.
I'm about as funny as a British person.
I'm about as funny as a woman.
A British woman or like an American woman?
British.
I think the Australians are the fucking funniest.
Yeah?
Yes.
Just because of like how they talk and it's funny?
They're just the world's shit posters. They're so funny.
They are pretty funny. Tyler Warwick that does the Arnar Clear. Bless him.
He's not Australian.
He is.
He's Australian?
Yeah.
Why does he talk like that?
What do you mean?
You're talking about the guy that like puts on the costumes.
Uh-huh.
Arnar Clear.
He is Australian. I'm pretty sure he lives in the U.S., but...
Well, then he's a USian.
No. Yeah, exactly, a USian. Unfortunately for him.
Okay, that actually makes it funnier. I kind of just like always kind of like swipe, you know? But the fact that he's Australian doing a fake Australian accent makes me happy.
Yeah,
you know they don't have free speech in Australia?
Really?
Yeah, you can get sued by government officials for criticizing them.
Wow. We're heading in that direction.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening.
To Make It Weird.
The Molasses Clam edition.
Clams in molasses.
In my asses.
That sounds incredibly uncomfortable.
It does.
Do you think syrup with clams would taste good?
No, not at all. That's horrible.
Sweet and salty?
No, they're not.
Hot sauce?
They're like, they are salty, but it's like the wrong kind of salty.
I don't know. I didn't like oysters. They were like boogers.
I fucking love oysters, but they gotta be good oysters. I'm in fucking Connecticut,
stop.
so
we gotta
are
stop.
good.
We're going too far.
All right. Thank you for joining us on Make It Weird.
Bye.
Wait, really quick.
Oh.
If you like our podcast, please rate it on Spotify.
Yeah.
The ratings help us a lot. If you don't like it, don't rate us. I don't fucking care.
I wonder if the microphone picked up Izzy's big stretch and her little yawn. That was very cute.
That was very cute.
Yes. But yeah, thanks for listening. We'll be back next Wednesday with a mini. Keep on
making it weird. Bye.
Woo. Woo, 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 woo.
Bye. If you liked our episode, please leave us a review on Spotify or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
And don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads at Make It Weird Pod.
Got something weird you want to share with the world? Send it over to us at makeitweirdpod@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening to Make It Weird.
Bye.